Hello and welcome to TechFunnel.com's interview series for Women's History Month. My name is Danny White, and today we have joining us Ty Givens. Ty is the founder and CEO of the WorkForce Pro, the leader in contact center success solutions. Her strategic guidance played an integral part in the global success of Thrive Market and ShoeDazzle. Givens is known for her ability to save clients millions in revenue, improve call answer rates by over 40%, and increase productivity by over 30%. She is a trusted advisor to many high-profile clients within the e-commerce, healthcare, and retail space, making her one of the most sought-after strategists for contact centers. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ty. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you found your passion in the world of business.
Okay, so I think as a kid, I always wanted to be a businesswoman. But what does that mean exactly? I think we all have different ideas, right? So I think in my head, I probably saw a woman who wore a suit to work every day, carried a briefcase, and had an office. Now, what did she do when she went into that office? No idea, but that was kind of what I saw. And I started working in customer service, like many people do in retail, at 16 years old, where my mom told me one day, "Oh, you're going to go get a job," and she told me how to follow up and get the job. So I started working in retail at 16. When I was 18, I was working for a bookstore, and my boss there told me I had too much potential to sell books. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, "There's a job fair. We should go." We go to the job fair, and it was for a call center.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. So when you're in retail, well, I'm going to speak for myself. When I was in retail, going into a desk or office job for me felt like a big deal because you know what, in my mind, that fit that suit briefcase kind of life, right? So I go there, I work there. I'm there for 6 months and I promote into what's called a technical support specialist. That evolved into a workforce management role in contact centers, which is basically all of the back-end planning, forecasting, capacity planning, scheduling, all of those kinds of things. And so I was there for 5 years. Okay. And we were laid off. And when we were laid off, I had to go back to market. And as I was searching for my next opportunity, I literally realized, oh, wait a minute, I started a career because there are other companies that are looking for the skill set that I had acquired at that company. And so at that point, as a full-time college student and a full-time employee, I started, working for other companies doing operations management for contact centers and workforce management. And that was really the foundation and the launch pad for me being where I am today.
Incredible. So you've worked with several major brands throughout your career, ShoeDazzle being one of them. That's one of my favorite companies. So how did you find your way to just like creating your own company, the WorkForce Pro, after so many years?
What I found is as I would work on my resume, I was hitting a lot of the same accomplishments over and over because I'm kind of like a MacGyver. Like I can fix a contact center with a rubber band and a paperclip.
Wow.
So you go in and, these companies don't have the tools, the expensive tools, the resources. I mean, coming from huge companies like Intuit or Office Depot or Home Depot, and you walk into a startup and they're going, well, some consultant told me we need workforce management. What is that? They have no idea. They don't understand what it takes to invest in the tools, the resources, et cetera. So I had to put together spreadsheets and I invented my own online calculator so that I could quickly turn around, these scenarios and help them understand, here's how many people you're going to need. Here's when you're going to meet them, things like that. So after a while, you do that so many times and then you go, there's something to this because a lot of companies, there's like this gray area they don't understand. They don't understand how the contact center is supposed to be set up. They don't understand what it takes to actually create and deliver world-class service. And those are the things that I understand. And so what I decided to do is start working with companies that may not, so they may think they want to hire a customer service manager to build out, but they're actually looking for an expert to build it out and a customer service manager to run it. And so that's when I come in and I go, okay, so let's get your foundation going. who do you want to be? Because that's a valid question. Your customer experience is going to be all around who do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And so I helped them set that up. I helped them build that out. And I love it. Like, it doesn't feel like work to me.
Awesome. That's awesome. So what are some of the new rules of customer experience and customer service, especially in the digital age, as you've come through this for almost nearly 20 years?
Yeah.
I'm sure that things have changed. So what are some of the new rules that people are looking at when it comes to setting up a contact center and providing that world-class customer service?
Yeah, when I started, it was called call center. It was just phone calls, and then emails were like this new thing. And then, oh my God, here comes live chat. So, excuse me, there are all these different channels and ways to interact with your customer. Mm-hmm. Social media being one. So in my experience, what I've seen is typically marketing owns social media. Mm-hmm. But there's also this crossover where marketing tends to not want to touch customer issues.
Right.
They're super excited about, getting on there and talking about the brand and, engaging. Mm-hmm. So customer service in today's age is really about knowledge and access to knowledge. Mm-hmm. When you're in a customer experience role, you're actually expected by the person who's communicating with you to be a subject matter expert. Like, they fully expect that you know and understand everything about that company. The article came out this morning, mm-hmm. The product, the email that they received, where the coupon code's not working. Like, you have to know it all. Mm-hmm. So in today's age, one of the ways that I work, one of the things I do with my clients is I put together internal knowledge bases. Mm-hmm. And these internal knowledge bases are employee facing and they're searchable. So it's just like you go to it, you create this space and you go to this website, and you have to have a login, obviously, because you don't want that out to everyone.
Right.
You go in there and there's a host of different information. Mm-hmm. What are the common practices? If someone receives a product that's broken or damaged, what's the protocol? What do we do? How do we do it? Because I always say, if you're going to be engaging with customers, you have to become an actor and actress. It's about confidence more than anything.
Right.
You may not necessarily know all the answers, but that customer better not know that you don't know all the answers.
That you don't know. Yeah, you better fake it.
So, you go, you know what? Give me 1 second. Let me look that up for you. Mm-hmm. Or let me check on that. Let me double check on that. And when you're doing that, you're accessing this knowledge base that has the answer that you're looking for. So in today's age, you have to have information at fingertips, mm-hmm. marketing calendars, current promotions, what's going on from the PR side, what's being put out about the business. When I was at ShoeDazzle, I mean, we would get messages and concerns about Kim Kardashian. So you have to
yeah.
And it would just be questions like, why did she do this? Why did she do that? Because mm-hmm. She was ambassador for the brand.
Right,
so for that, your CX team is really, really tied into all things. It's like the heart of your company, literally. When you think about it, a company only exists to acquire customers.
Right, exactly.
Right. So everything you has to be around the experience that you're delivering for that customer.
Awesome. So how do you help companies develop that experience and understand their why when it comes to just providing that service for customers?
It's really about who do they want to be. Mm-hmm. So you've got a lot of new companies like, I say new, not new anymore, newer, got Ubers who have perfected the art of preempting customer concerns and questions.
Right.
You get to a person, yes, but you will have done some work before you do that. Mm-hmm. And some brands want to be that, and that's totally fine, but that takes a lot of legwork up front. You have other brands, like think of a Nordstrom, who no matter what the issue is or the problem is, they're going to make sure that you're happy and you're okay. Yeah, and then you have some businesses that want to be a hybrid of both. Mm-hmm. I want you to search for it, but once you get to me, I'm going to do everything I can. So the question is really, who do you want to be? Mm-hmm. How do you define world-class service? What does world-class service look like in your industry? What does it look like for your competitors? Mm-hmm. And how do you want to align yourself against that? And so as we define what that criteria is, because it's not about what I want, it's about what my client wants.
Right.
And my job is to deliver for my client. Mm-hmm. So if they want to be that best in class, world class, contact center, no problem. Here's what it takes to build that out. And then the next conversation is, well, where do you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to build out your own team? Here's what that looks like. Here are the implications. Do you want to build out a team in another state?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to build out a team in another country? Like there are all of these options, and there are hybrids of all of those things. And the entire conversation is around, who do you want to be? And so once we flesh that out, then I start to put the structure in place for them to execute against that.
Cool. So you're obviously yourself an incredible woman in your own right. So what is some advice that you would give to women who really want to start their own companies, who may have had decades of experience in the corporate world, but who want to branch out and kind of take that risk and start their own thing?
You know what? Do it. If it speaks to you, just do it. I can't tell you. There have been companies that I've worked with, that have inspired me in so many ways. You don't have to have all of the answers,
mm-hmm.
but your experience can really, inspire, motivate, fix, help so many people. Like never take, if it's 5 years, if it's 3 years, focus on the results. What have you been able to accomplish
mm-hmm.
in that time? And take that and make that work for you. Because when you're out with, your clients and you're helping your clients, it's a different relationship than an employer.
Mm-hmm.
When I work with my clients, I'm working so much, I don't like to say harder, but smarter.
Yeah.
Because, we have this time together and I want them to get the absolute best outcome
mm-hmm.
in the time that we have together. Right? Because I want to continue a long-term relationship, obviously. When you're employed, there's different projects that come up and you still deliver your best, but it's not the same as like really trying to impact, those results in the time that you have together. So if you feel that calling, because I felt that calling,
right.
And I would ignore it and I would go, no, like it's too risky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily a risk taker. Well, what if I don't want to fall into this rut? I don't want to do that. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
When I look back, since I've launched, there have been ebbs and flows, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And it feels so good to help others. And so if anyone feels that calling to help someone else and it doesn't feel like work to you,
mm-hmm.
like that's what you should do. And guess what? Things work out. If
Absolutely.
Even if something goes wrong or is not good or doesn't work the way it's supposed to or it breaks, guess what? You move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So try, if you don't invest in anyone else, invest in yourself,
mm-hmm.
trust in yourself, trust in your ability, and just go do it.
Very nice. Very good advice. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever received throughout your career?
Be aware of your personal brand. Someone once said, and I don't remember who this is, so
mm-hmm.
it's sad, I don't remember, but I do remember what they said. And it was about, what do people say about you when you're not in the room?
Mm-hmm.
That's your personal brand. So make sure that you're managing that. And so I always wanted people to say that I made a difference,
mm-hmm.
that I was helpful, that I was focused and results oriented. Those are the things that really mattered to me. And so I make sure that any place that I leave, that's my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I've left some companies and they've had to replace me with 2 people because I work fast and I'm very diligent about what I do. So be very aware of your personal brand, how you impact people. And there's one other thing I'd like to add, and that is you're interviewing for your next job now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all about self-awareness. When at different companies I've worked at, the other day I'm going through my LinkedIn and there's so many people who are now founders, including myself. And these are all colleagues that I worked with in different capacities who, are now potential clients for me. So what were those engagements like when we were working together? How did I add value to them then? Mm-hmm. It matters so much now. And people that, I've led contact centers, 300 seats in multiple locations. And guess what? One of them might be a potential client or one day my boss. How did I treat them?
Yeah.
That
awesome.
Really matters. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ty, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and all the insights and advice you've given to us.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you guys for listening to this interview. For these and other interviews and topics, please visit techfunnel.com. You can connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our weekly newsletter so you can stay up to date on what's happening in the industry. Thank you.